Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Monday night, let's get into it. Do another episode of California Gangsters. As you can see, I got the hat on. Got my Godfather hat on. It's on tight. Comes with a little feather. It's been extra cold out here in Florida, so this is good hat weather. You know, I like to set the mood for these videos, so I had to wear the Godfather hat. And of course, also just to set the mood, I got the little snub-nosed 38. This is good for being in the pocket if you like a pistol to pull out of your pocket quick. And of course, it's loaded. It got the hollow point plus P round in there. So let's get into our story. We're going to finish off chapter 1. Tonight's reading might just be a tad bit, just a little bit longer than the last one because I want to finish off this chapter. These are short chapters, but it's a long book. Let's just jump into it. Simon Castro, our main character. I graduated in 1975 from USC. The day after my cap and gown ceremony, which my father didn't show up to, he sat me down in his study for a talk. Anytime he wanted to talk to me, made me absolutely nervous. His study was a very cool room, one that us kids were strictly banned entry to when we were growing up. My father did much of his mafia business in there, and so did my grandfather back when he owned the house long before I was born. The Castro family history in that study was crazy, going back decades and spanning 2 generations. I can only imagine all the dirt that had been talked about behind those wooden walls. When I walked in, he had a bottle of whiskey and 2 glasses set on the table in front of the grand fireplace, which was at the opposite end of the room. 2 large leather chairs were pushed together, and he was sitting in one of them smoking a cigar. I couldn't see him, but I could see clouds of thick smoke plume up into the air above the chair as I walked closer to him. My father looked over his shoulder as I approached and said, "Simon, my boy, sit down next to me here. We need to talk about your future." I sat down in the large leather chair next to him and replied, "My future? You know what I'm going to do. I'm going into the NFL draft. Look, I was hoping that you might be able to pull some strings for me. I really would love to get into the Rams." My father said, "Congratulations on everything that you've accomplished so far. Your mother and I are proud of you, and so are your sisters. Simon, I want to talk to you about something that I've been waiting to discuss with you for literally your entire life. Since the day your mother told me that she had a boy inside her belly. Now that you're older, it's time that you fulfill your family obligations. The ball games are for kids, and now it's time for you to become a man. Capiche?" I took a deep breath and replied, "No, Pop, I don't capiche. I don't capiche at all. I'm a man. I'm an adult now. I'm going into the NFL. This has always been the plan. I'm going to be a superstar, Pop." My father took a long puff off his cigar and said, "Calm down. Take a deep breath. You had your fun, Simon. Be realistic. Only 1% of people who go through the draft get picked. If you get lucky enough to get on a team, you could be sitting on a bench for your entire career with no corporate sponsorships or anything, making the league minimum and living like some kind of loser. I know some former NFL players, and they're bums. They're dope heads, drunks, living out of their cars or in tenants. You were the king in your campus. Just leave it at that. Never forget that you're a Castro. The family, La Cosa Nostra, is your future, Simon. Here, have a drink with me. Let's celebrate." My father poured 2 glasses of whiskey, and I slammed mine back in one gulp. It burned my throat. I hated hard liquor and cringed as I swallowed. I said, "That shit is nasty." My father replied, "That right there is Big O's famous brand. Your grandfather owned a portion of that company. The Castros have a long history with booze in the United States. I've always loved this stuff, and it comes in a cool looking old bottle. Look, Simon, I know you wanted to play ball forever. I know it was your childhood dreams. But I've been planning this path for you, and you must learn to live in reality. Tomorrow, you're going to start working for the family as an associate. This is how I started, and this is the path that we all take. Your uncle, Frank, he's going to put you to work. You're going to be with him on the west side. I want you to show up at his bar at 7 p.m. sharp. Be wearing a suit. Be on time. You will do whatever Frank says. Simon, don't give him any lip or any attitude. The answer to all Frank's questions will be yes, sir. Arguing with my father was pointless. I'd have to kill him in order to change his mind. I sat silent for a bit, staring at the walls, staring at the fire. And then I said, okay, Pop, whatever you think is best. My father replied, we're going to put you on the fast track, Simon. You're going to be a big deal in this city. Get ready, son. Your life just begun. Take another drink, and then leave me alone. I have a meeting with some associates in a few minutes. But this is a good talk, don't you think? I declined the drink and stood up to leave. I gave my father a long, hard look deep in his eyes to see if he would break. My fantasy was that at the last moment, maybe he would soften up a bit. He stood up to shake my hand and then waved me off in a royal manner as if I was the maid or one of his hired goons. I walked out of the study feeling like a sunken ship with my NFL dreams. I didn't get the support I was hoping for, and well, let's say he tossed the plate of pasta on the floor. I had a head full of questions and suspicions of my father's intentions toward me. I was a grown man now, and I should be able to make my own decisions in my life, but my father had a way of making me feel like an idiot. That night, later, I met up with some of my friends. We all hung out over at a buddy's apartment in Beverly Hills. They were all on their way into the corporate world with good paying jobs already lined up for them. I couldn't reveal that my father was planning on me joining the mafia, so I explained to them that my choice was to work for my dad, a successful businessman, or to go and try my luck in the NFL. To my shock, not a single one of my former schoolmates raised their hands for the Simon becomes a sports hero idea. Each one gave their opinion on why they felt it was a necessary path for me to follow my father's footsteps and to go work for him. We smoked and drank all night. And by the end of the evening, I decided to take everyone's advice. I was going to join the family. Thanks for watching. Till next Monday.